so I heard back from ISP, so that's obviously a positive. Here, so I do have like one option, but if I get like a very good offer in terms of scholarship, say from Cornell or Darden, which is two of the universities that I've applied, then I would consider it. And otherwise, yeah, I think honestly, I was earlier, like in my initial preparations, it's also very personal that like I would always be like a night owl trying to study after work. But obviously, that would lead for me to be higher chances of, either not retaining whatever I'm learning properly because I'd be half tired. So then I just became a morning person consciously. So there was a point of struggle when I was transitioning to that. Just be obsessed with checking the GMAT appointments every morning, afternoon, and night in between your breaks. And something would definitely like pop up for at least the day, around the days that you want. So appointments should never be like, factor in you deciding the deadline of when, how by how much you should get done with this exam prep. It's like that will anyway get taken care of. It's only like you should focus firstly only on like studying and acing everything.
Thank you so much for joining me today this morning. First of all, big congratulations on your GMAT score, 695. Um,
Thank you.
and the score breakdown is such: Quant 100th percentile, verbal 94 percentile, and data insight 77 percentile. So as
Yeah.
soon as you got out of the exam center, you messaged Sandeep sir and you said, well, data insight tanked your score.
Right.
That you were, there was no sigh per se. That's the message that you'd sent. So tell me, how do you feel about this score, and what really stood out for you, and what could have done better?
Yeah, I think GMAT was sort of like a strenuous battle for me, if I could say that way, because I've been probably thinking about it right after my undergrad, before joining where I work now. And then, it was just a switch of, say, institutes or online exams until I like make a conscious decision that I have to get this done because it, holds you back from just enjoying your life, if I can put it that way.
Right.
So, but this score, obviously, once you start performing well in practices and see the higher scores that are there, so, there's a lot to be grateful for, but then you also feel that, oh, I should have done this. And,
This.
it could have just crossed that 705 threshold as well. So I think, yeah, I was really happy. I saw like as I was, in the exam section by section, there was a lot of confidence I could see because I did it in the order of quant, verbal, and data insights. So I had finished my quant exam like 10 to 15. Like I was able to correct my first question, which was a very simple, but I would have marked something silly. So then I was like at peace that, okay, I think I've done everything. And then based on the questions and the level of questions, especially in verbal, which was, it just sort of, reinforced the confidence that, okay, maybe I'm doing well.
Right.
And then data insights was something that I was always scared of, just like, in terms of how I ingest data. So then I did not like let loose of myself and I was like, okay, I just have to get through it. It's fine.
Right. So let's go back to where it all started. So the
Yeah.
idea of doing an MBA, when did it start, and or preparing for GMAT? What really motivated you to take this path? And more importantly, how did you find Sandeep sir, top in percent,
Yeah.
and you start this journey?
Right. So just to give some background, I graduated from Christ, as you'd mentioned previously, and then I was always inclined towards the field of finance. So I work in a financial services firm, and I was obviously introduced to the parts of private equity and venture capital. And given the tight recruitment line that there is, the importance of MBA obviously stands out with experience. So that's where I'd set my mind on, and the decision of MBA came into a place. And obviously, I was more inclined towards just in terms of examination, a GMAT versus CAT. GMAT one for very obvious reasons in how the preparation is and how it's personalized. So I started off right in 2021 with again an online self-paced course from one of the platforms. And then it was just like me slacking, not being disciplined. Then I obviously switched to one to two institutions. During my initial research, I'd come to top 1%, but then maybe it was just intrinsic that, I think sir had mentioned that, only serious students can join. And
Yeah.
then I was scared that, okay, maybe if I'm not able to keep up, I don't know if it's, worth it. But then I think I gave my first attempt in January, and that did, which was the GMAT Classic. And I got, I think, a 670 or a 680 in that, which obviously wasn't a satisfactory score to me. And that's when, I was just researching online because I wanted something to be very, custom and self-paced, but like very specific learning. So one of my friends actually took the GRE course and I met her from Top One, and she said that it was totally worth it. Like you don't need to do anything else. So I had obviously a word of mouth reference, and that's when I was inclined to join. So I think in February or March, I think I had joined, or I think in April, I started the self-paced course. And I was really, really happy with that. Then I think I gave another attempt in around September. And that's when Sir had also released his special batch, which was a very, 2 to 3 week pressure batch.
Yeah.
So I enrolled for that as well because I could identify what my weak areas are. And I wanted to, like, by that time I had a sense that, okay, if I just, perfect these topics in quant and maybe just, ace data insights, I should be good because I was able to get a hold of, say, verbal. So that I felt really helped, and obviously some of generic strategies. And then by the third attempt, I was really like confident and comfortable. Like the fear in me sort of got out.
So if I have to speak about each section, right, quant, verbal, because that's the order also that you chose in the exam,
Right,
quant, order, verbal, and DI. So was this the section which you were strong at, and like how did it
right,
initially start? And were there any section that or many maybe a topic that you were really weak at, and what resources
right.
particularly stood out for you in each of these sections?
Right. So to answer your first question, it's obviously playing from my, strongest areas to the weakest because I feel just mentally it puts me at ease. That, the higher chance of me doing well in those than say a data insights at first. And I think in terms of preparation, obviously I just whatever was there on the portal throughout the course, the schedule, like it's very extensive, very exhaustive. So like every Saturday or Sunday when there will be not a lot of classes, we would usually get those, RC long sittings. And after that, I would just sit and just do those in a timed manner. So I think that like really like bolstered my confidence in those questions. So for quant, it was definitely that. And even for CR and DI to a great extent, because I felt the data insights questions for the official GMAT aren't like easy. They are like very like, difficult and require some strategic and tactical thinking. So I think that tip really, really helped me the most. And obviously, doing the mocks and the long sittings that are there on the portal was very helpful because obviously it's timed, so you can't trick your mind that okay, let me take a quick break. So you have to finish it and then do it. So I think for verbal, it was really helpful for me that as well. I think besides that, the topic-wise practice that we get for CR particularly, yes, was like the PDF also. That's so extensive. I feel like even if you do it and then make an error log consciously and do those questions after 3 weeks, you can clearly see, if you've progressed or not. So I think these two particularly stood out and helped me.
Right. So, in through your preparation, did you find a point, maybe because of work, maybe something else, maybe GMAT preparation itself, that you felt stuck, or you did have a break, like most uncomfortable somewhere?
Yes.
And what was that, and how did you like just overcome that phase?
Yeah, I think honestly, I was earlier, like in my initial preparations, it's also very personal that like I would always be like a night owl trying to study after work. But obviously, that would lead for me to be higher chances of, either not retaining whatever I'm learning properly because I'd be half tired. So then I just became a morning person consciously. So there was a point of struggle when I was transitioning to that. I would feel really stuck and on out that, I have to like really change my life because of this one exam. But then that was also like, it's okay, it's only a matter of months, I have to do it. So felt like just making that one change, like really helped me with the rest of the day as well, because I know that I've put in like 2 to 3 hours in the morning before work and I don't have to worry. Like at night, maybe the max I can do is just do some untimed questions, quant, because for me, Quant is a stronger section than the other two, then that's just like a revision for me. And that's not a stressful point. But in the morning, I would either do like, CR verbal or, RC. But then those 2 to 3 hours I felt in the morning helped me just do that deep work properly.
This is amazing, Meg, because sometimes a lot of people do struggle. Everybody's work and job is demanding. You are on a very demanding job.
Exactly.
Finance, equity, research, investment, everything is pretty crazy. I mean, there's nothing like it's a
Yeah, nine to
static kind
five.
of
Yeah,
a work. It can be supremely demanding given the market and everything. And really making that shift in your own personal space is a big inspiration. I mean, this is a learning point for anybody, who's struggling with it aspect, who says that, well, I can't make time. This shift that
right.
you shared, and especially for a GMAT preparation alone, it's
Yes.
it's it's something that somebody has to really learn from. Absolutely wonderful. Now, the run up to the GMAT exam, how was your preparation? What was your mock score like? Now, you've given like couple of attempts before the last one, like two attempts
Right.
more. So you were at least well prepared as to what can you expect. So what
Right.
did you make sure in your mocks? How should it reflect? What was that light bulb moment, I would call it, where you said that
Right.
this is it, this is where now I'm ready to give my GMAT exam, final attempt.
Right. Right. So I think I only booked my GMAT exam 7 to 10 days before my preparation because, as I was also talking to a few peers in my office, like one benchmark that they said that if you're giving like the last three exams, even the worst score that you're getting, you should be happy with that. So as I was giving, official GMATs and a mix of the ones that are on portal, when I got like, say, 705, 715, 715, that's when I was like, okay, now let me book and then let me just, do a few mocks and then ease out my practice so that I can just warm up now. So that was the turning point for me. I think the earlier few times, maybe that's what I realized that I didn't really ace all my prep. I was just in a hurry because I had set a deadline that, okay, I have to get it done by September just to, maybe meet some application deadlines or something. But this time I felt like, okay, like even if it's 2 days before, I'll be ready to like, give the exam. I don't have to worry about booking it. It's fine, whatever time, like based on the time that I would have. And then obviously timing the mocks based on the anticipated time. Like I felt morning, or maybe just right after breakfast or something that I can, devote 2 to 2.5 hours easily. So ideally, anything between 10 to 11 a.m. was something that was preferred by me. And luckily, I got it as well. So that was very like, comfortable for me. So, and that's one thing that I would also say is just be obsessed with checking the GMAT appointments every morning, afternoon, and night in between your breaks. And something would definitely like pop up for at least the day around the days that you want. So appointments should never be like, a factor in you deciding the deadline of when, how by how much you should get done with this exam prep. It's like that will anyway get taken care of. It's only like you should focus firstly only on like studying and acing everything. So that's the lesson that I learned. Yeah,
Perfect, perfect. I mean, most of us do go by running through the deadline. Oh, the deadline is in mind, and I have 3 months through, and then you're really going to compromise on the score. And that's why the entire importance of starting early, so that
right.
you meet the deadline, but there's enough time to kind of make sure that you are thorough. You have enough time for your application also.
100%. Yeah.
People starting like July, August, it's it's
Yes, that's
definitely
definitely one thing that I also learned because even though I gave it in November, I just had like 7 days for my ISP round two deadline. So I really felt the pressure then. But then the only good thing is obviously I had a good score. So like I was not applying with, say, less confidence, if you know what I mean. Because
yeah,
once you apply, send your report, you can see the percentile. So if it stands out good, there's obviously, that test will never be a factor that you will
for
get declined.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But wonderful. Now, so you said that you applied for, oh no, so let me just also talk about the test experience this time. So you said
Right.
DI was a little bit of,
Right.
so how many questions, what happened? So quant, it was a breeze because you got 100 percentile. So
Right.
was it like, was there any mistake at all? Zero, right? because then
Zero mistakes.
it's
Yeah, zero
perfect.
mistakes.
So
Yes.
you also knew that when you went from one section to the other
Right.
section that
Right.
you
Yes.
got all the
Yes. Because
questions.
I had 15 minutes left, like I made sure to like check every question thoroughly. And the first question, which was like very simple, that was actually incorrect. So I corrected that. So I was like, thank God, like I was able to do that. So, but yeah, I had ample time to sort of, recheck all questions that way in Quant.
And so what happened in verbal, and did anything that happened in verbal kind of disorient a bit for DI? Just, give a little gist of what
I
happened
think,
in the exam.
yeah. I think it could just be maybe, I don't know if it's a skill set sort of thing. I'm someone who just takes a lot of time in just ingesting data. So that is why, like in my final prep, I did recognize that data insights is something that, I may not score the best. But then my point was to manage my time and at least ballpark, questions or answers to the questions as much as possible. So when verbal, I felt was like got like I think two RC passages that were really long, but I was able to finish that as well, and I got I think four questions wrong in those. So that way I think it was good. I just have my report opened as well, so I'm just checking that, out of which I think it was majorly yeah, so it was two critical reasoning and two reading comprehensions that were wrong, just like nothing in consecutive order. So that was verbal reasoning, and I'm just opening data insights as well.
You had a feeling that you did not do DTI very well right after the exam. I mean, before.
Yes, I think I just knew maybe like because in the last exam I really sort of felt like DI was taking over me, but this time I just knew that okay, if MSR is something that I will take time at, let me just like, finish that, keep that in the last so that I'm not spending a lot of time in those questions. And obviously it's anything and everything that can be in DI. There's no scope. So I was sort of prepared for that. Obviously, I felt a little disheartened because in my final stages, I did do vote like every day, say 1 hour to 2 hours on DI just to make sure I'm doing everything. So that was a little bit of obviously disheartening and resentment feelings. But then otherwise, I was still like the Quant 90 sort of, I think, saved me there.
Yeah, brilliant. So now going through the application, because you just got your score around the round two deadlines, right? So
Yes.
to apply to any other schools, so ISB apart from ISB, because you were looking at even a global B schools as well. So
Yes.
any school that you're waiting, you're applied and you're waiting to hear back from them.
Yes. I did apply to a few US schools in well, and I've interviewed with two. I applied to, I think, four schools in the US. So I'm waiting to hear from three. I did get a chance to interview with two of them as well. So I actually took the help of Autry from again top one as well. So just waiting to hear back on those.
So just in case if these schools that you like or you desire, you may not get it or may get it, but may not get like the scholarship or anything. Are you okay to apply in the round one? How do you see it? Or you have to go like in 2025?
Ideally, I would love to go. So I heard back from ISP, so that's obviously a positive. Here, so I do have like one option, but if I get like a very good offer in terms of scholarship, say from Cornell or Darden, which is two of the universities that I've applied, then I would consider it. And otherwise, I would definitely focus on round one because my again focus is to get like a good quality MBA rather than just going for any MBA right now. So then obviously in case I don't happen to go, then early action or round one, whatever I can try, would be my goal, and then further refining my app in whatever ways.
Did you apply to Columbia?
No, I didn't.
Because you are from that domain, and I've seen
Yes.
you do really well. Again, being in New York and the entire
Fine. Yes.
Columbia business school, only what it has to offer. But yeah, maybe you could try maybe in the round three, or maybe.
Yes.
But I really wish that you get, you've done well. It's a long awaited score, long awaited journey itself. and you should really get what you deserve and do very well. We'll keep connected, and
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
going to be super happy to see how you progress in life. We at Top and Percent and Sandeep Gupta are extremely humble. Of course, he himself shared the message when you shared the message with him, and he's very proud of you. Thank you so much for choosing Top and
Thank you.
Percent and
Yes.
trusting both Sandeep and Audrey through this process. I really hope that we make that transformational shift in your career in the next journey. Really hope to see you do really well in that
Thank
in
you.
life general.
No, I really admire Sandeep sir as a person as well, not just in terms of, how he teaches, but otherwise also. So I think his passion and determination is something that like everyone can, learn from. So I think overall also it was just great to interact with him, like beyond just education. So yes, really look forward to that and stay connected.
Super, super. Thank you so much for joining me this
Thank
morning,
you.
Meg. You have a lovely
Thank
day
you.
ahead. Bye bye. Take
You
care.
too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.